Hey, it's your boy. It's Michael Kosta. This is the Tennis Anyone podcast. It is Monday, August 4th. How are you? What beautiful weather we've had. I was in San Antonio Friday. I was in Dallas Saturday. Great weekend. Not the best time to be in Texas from a weather standpoint. What's interesting politically is that the people who come to my shows, and I mean, I was never a political comedian. Now I work at the Daily Show. I get a lot. It's like the fever of the people that don't feel represented by the federal government is stronger than ever. I guess that's what the two-party system does. In particular, if you did not vote for Donald Trump, and you are critical of him, and you live in the state of Texas, and then here comes a comedian who's going to talk shit about Trump, people are very happy. There's a big audience for that. Let's just put it that way. Should be noted, most of my set, I complain about my family. A little bit of the set, I complain about the president. But then I go, you know what I say? I say it's like, I don't want to give them all my time. I got other stuff to complain about. It should be noted that we should all, and I'm talking to myself now, I'm looking at myself in the eyes, for those of you that are watching on YouTube, thanks again for your new subscription. Thanks again for those of you that have shared this. A lot of discussion in the comments about how the algorithm is finally working in my favor after 7 years. It's like, YouTube, hello, I'm here. But we all should really, our level of focus and energy and emotion should be more focused locally and then slowly spread out. And the president of the United States should certainly get attention. But if we let our emotional reactions, our emotional reactions to the president are not in balance, because the president does not fill the potholes in your neighborhood, in your local elected official does. By the way, talking to myself here as well, we should know more locally, and in the various places I've lived throughout my life, you actually see your city council member at the grocery store. You actually can call your congressperson. You bump into them. In Brooklyn, I've had numerous occasions where I've emailed people I've helped elect, and then they get back to you. Somebody gets back to you, if they're doing their job right, and you can voice your concern. That doesn't happen at the highest level. So that's something we should all pay attention to. San Antonio, thank you. I have to single out San Antonio because I'm not going to get into flights. I'm not going to get into why United sucks. They sent a flight from Boston to Newark, where I was flying out of, and it was broken. And then I kept getting a text every 30 minutes that said, your flight's delayed 30 minutes. This happened for 5.5 hours. If you just would have said the flight's canceled or we're going to leave at 6 p.m., I would have booked a different flight. Long story short, on the phone with my agent, on the phone with the manager, on the phone with the Tobin Center in San Antonio, I finally walked on stage at 9:10 p.m. The show started at 7. Hundreds of people waited for me to be there. I am so appreciative and thankful. These are people who hired babysitters, who had to work in the morning. Many people's parents were watching the kids, so they had to text or call their parents and say the comedian's not here yet. And I'm just so thankful. Look, I have made a decision to play less comedy clubs and do more independent rooms, which has served me well financially and poorly financially, because the bottom line is you got to sell tickets. And but the best part about an independent room or a non-comedy club room is that the people that bought tickets to see your boy, Michael Kosta, host of the Tennis Anyone pod, they're there to see me. And so I was touched and honored that everyone waited for me to show up. At a comedy club, they just would have started the show because those people are there at the comedy club, and maybe they know who the headliner is, maybe they don't. And I should share with San Antonio and the Tobin Center. You guys were accommodating. You didn't cancel the show. You said, we'll start it when he gets here. The opening acts did more time. Thank you for the opening acts. They threw in an intermission. They tried to make it work. Unlike CBS with canceling Stephen Colbert, the Tobin Center said, let's not cancel this thing. Let's try to make it work. We want the show to happen. Let's try to make it work. Some people did have to leave. I understand that. I'm sorry that I was so late. But it solidified to me why I'm doing what I've decided to do, which is I don't want to keep playing 3 shows on a Saturday night at a comedy club where you stand in front of the logo behind you promoting the comedy club. And instead, it really proved to me that the people that bought tickets to see me wanted to see me. And even though I was late, very, very late, and it fucked up their night, they stuck with me. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I flew to Dallas the next day and was equally and as emotionally touched there because many of my University of Illinois tennis teammates from 20 years ago, longer than that, surprised me, and their wives came. A party of 12, 13, 14. Let's see. It was Evan, Ben, Brian, Gavin, Chris, Kalk. Who am I missing? 6, Connor, 7. You like those names? You like those white guy tennis names? If I'm missing somebody, there's 14 people. Amir was supposed to show up, but had an emergency. And so, look, it was very, very touching that they showed up to support my shows and with their wives. And it was really fun to connect and talk about tennis and not talk about tennis. And I can tell you right now, it's always connecting. Connecting is the key, you know? I mean, I'm raising 2 kids. It's exhausting. It's scary. You feel guilty, like you're never there enough, but then you worry about work and should I be more focused on work? I've got to raise these 2 kids, and it's this balance that you constantly feel like you're never crushing it in any direction. I'm never doing enough as a dad. I'm never doing enough as a stand-up. I'm never doing enough as a Daily Show host and correspondent. And talking with my teammates and people that I feel close with and people that we experienced a lot, albeit low stakes, but a lot of turmoil and strife and success and failures together, you connect with those people and you realize, guess what, Kosta? They're feeling that. They're doing the same thing. Their wives bitch about them the same as your wife bitches about you. We're all fighting. We're all moving in the same direction together, and it's not easy. And so for me, I find a lot of comfort, and this is where we'll get into the male friendship recession. And, for me, a lot of that resonates with me. I will prioritize work, family, finances, fixing the house, getting the car fixed, way before I reach out to a male friend to connect. What am I, gay? So I want to share with everyone that the reason men in particular, women are better at this, I think, the reason men, it helps to connect. And by the way, you're not connecting to talk about your weaknesses. You're not connecting to pick his brain about marital problems. You're not connecting to get financial help. You're just hanging. You're playing golf. You're having coffee. You're just hanging. And then that other stuff kind of happens sometimes. Or you just kind of, we're talking shit about playing Duke 25 years ago, and all of a sudden now we're on a new path about raising kids and how much focus to put on athletic success. And I go, I've had that same thought. This is helpful for me. It's helpful for me. This is why connecting is helpful, and it's better than texting. I think texting serves a purpose, and I think you can feel connected a little bit through texting, but really, really sitting and talking with each other was great for my soul. I get more nervous performing when I have people that I care about in the audience. I knew the show would be good. The show was great. Thank you, Dallas. My God. 300 people. jam-packed at the Granada Theater. Really great opening act, Megan King, very funny. She's got 3 kids that she's already raised, but love when a parent makes fun of their kids on stage. Come on, that's the best. She's very funny. Check her out. Just a really, really fun night. Solidified to me that picking these independent rooms and performing for an audience that really knows me. People are bringing the books to sign. I mean, I signed 20 Lucky Loser books. I stopped selling them. I probably should sell them in Milwaukee, in Grand Rapids. I probably should. I should get on that now. It's just really nice. It's really touching, and I had a wonderful weekend of feeling as a human accepted and loved in 2 different ways. One in San Antonio by strangers waiting for my show, and 2 in Dallas by friends just showing me that they care. And also, let's be honest, they care about themselves too. They used me as a conduit for them to hang out, which was great. There was these nice young men that drove in from Oklahoma to see my show. So I felt it's a crazy business we're in. You hear no a lot. You don't make any money forever, and then you make a little bit of money, and then you're not going to make money again forever. So it really does go a long way for me to know that people are prioritizing my show and that people are really enjoying my comedy. And I thank you for that. Thank you, Texas. Thank you, Texas. Also, it's funny the amount of Californians that have moved to Dallas. My God, everybody I met was like, I used to live in LA. I used to live in LA. Few things that I don't love about Dallas. It feels like everything is concrete. It feels like concrete everywhere. I mean, I got back to the Northeast. I got in my car, and I was in a forest within 10 minutes, and I was like, oh, trees, greenery. Now, I know Texas crushes the nature game. I've been deep in ranching world of Texas, so I got that. But for me, Dallas was a little concrete. It was a little manicured lawn, edged. The lawns were edged. You know what I'm saying? I am not a church guy. They're everywhere, man. I think people that probably even worship the devil have a church in Dallas. San Antonio, I saw very little. I was so late. It was dark. I left when it was dark. I've been there before. I've been drunk many times in San Antonio. I can't say that Riverwalk is my favorite thing. I guess it's still going on. One of my favorite stories is they basically say every weekend tourists get drunk and they try to jump in the river to swim it, but it's only 2 feet deep. I guess because people used to drown there. I don't know. So look, it is always of service. It is always beneficial to travel, see this country. It's in my book, Lucky Loser. I've said it many times. Travel is the only thing you buy that makes you richer. That's a quote from the Amsterdam airport that I love. And you feel more solidified in who you are when you travel. You feel more open to the world. You feel more empathetic to others. And it's a magic trick. Traveling is a magic trick. And I just went to Texas. I didn't even go find another language or another food, but you feel more like a part of this universe connected together. And I will say this, great time in Texas with great people. I don't have a church. I don't live in Dallas, yet I understand them more. And I think this is a conversation that I had with Samantha Brown on this podcast. One of the things that also helps when you travel is you look at other people's opinions of you. You see, when you enter their world, you go, oh, how are they seeing me? That's interesting. It doesn't mean like self-consciously how do they see me, but it makes you more aware of maybe, hey, maybe my little world that I live in where church isn't a thing, maybe I should be more aware that a lot of people it is a thing and it's important to them. And that's good to know. And I'm not going to fucking set foot in a church, but if they want to, I won't text them during those times. Also, what was fun was I went over to my friend Gavin's house as soon as I landed. Flight was delayed also. That was American. I was a Delta guy forever. I thought Delta was very solid, but I feel like Delta slipped too with the quality airplanes. We went and played tennis in the 100-degree heat, maybe 35 minutes, 40 minutes, doing that whole hit and catch up thing, where you hit some forehands, then you go, what's this guy doing? Oh, that's what he's doing. Oh, is he? Oh, God, okay. Oh, he's an addict now? Oh, okay. What's the score? 3-2? Oh, okay. What? He's dead? Oh, okay. Well, let me hit some volleys. Got a few overheads? She cheated on him. What? Nice backhand, bro. That was a lot of fun, and there is anxiety and stress associated with performing. So for me to get out and hit some balls and just grunt and just move your feet and hear the sound of, your footwork on the hard court and feel the heat, it's helpful. It's helpful. The sauna, the cold plunge, so important because it just gets you out of your fucking head for a second. Who gives a shit about your little thing? Who gives a shit about that tiny anxiety thing? Who gives a shit about the thing you heard or the thing you read or the person that did this or did that? You're freezing. I'm trying not to freeze here. I'm trying not to sweat so much that my neck explodes. It's important to do those things to get us out of our mental and challenge ourselves physically. And in a way, it gets you more locked in. People ask me why I love driving a motorcycle. Man, I can only think about the motorcycle. Can only think about this. Shift, throttle, front brake. Let's go. Boom. Watch out. Deer over here. This guy doesn't know. He's turning left. He doesn't see you. Flash your lights. Slow down. Be ready. Focus, 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 focus. Why do you think people come up with ideas in the shower? Because you're doing a thing. You're doing a thing. You're not just sitting there obsessing about the problem. You're doing something else, and our mind can do amazing things and find the solution. Anyways, so thank you, Texas. Thank you, University of Illinois men's tennis. Fun to connect with you guys. Thank you, San Antonio. And I was feeling so inspired by my short hit on Saturday in the 100-degree heat, and also seeing all the tennis guys that I went out today. Used the slinger. Battery was low. Charged it up. Took it out. Think out of. Rip some forehands, rip some backhands. Then I'm missing a lot. Like it's literally feeding me a ball. How are you missing? It's feeding you a ball. How can you miss a fed ball? So at one point I put 30 balls in there, and I was like, all right, loser, you have to make 20 deep shots out of this 30. I mean, that's, and by deep, if it hits the service line, that's not deep. I mean, I kind of just have to say like, no man's land or on the line. You should not be hitting the service line. Depth kills, everybody. If there's one fucking thing you can all do to be better at tennis now, it's hit the ball deep. Done. So I did that exercise a lot. And for the most part, I would hit, I would say these are high level, penetrating, deep ground strokes. And I would get 20. Out of 30. These are fed balls. I remember watching Steph Curry and a lot of those shooters. I mean, when they're not being guarded and they're just practicing and they shoot 20 shots, they make 20. They make 19. I am not the Steph Curry of tennis at this point. I'm sure when I was playing in my prime, I would have hopefully made 30 out of 30 of those. But I was surprised that when the ball is hit directly to me under no pressure, with no score pressure, no one watching, I was only making 66%. Now I'm hitting a nice ball. Where's my water? I forgot my water. There it is. As someone asked me in Dallas, they said, "Are you still playing tennis? And how good are you?" And I said, "I play rarely, but if I'm in the strike zone, Kosta can hit, all right? If you want to put it to me right here, I'll crush it." Now, when you get it out of the strike zone, your boy struggles. So it's about movement. It's about movement now. Let's quickly go through Montreal and Toronto, and then we're going to talk to you about what the Bureau of Labor Statistics does. I don't know, but it came up this week, and I think it's important for us to all learn about our government. All right, Montreal is happening. Women, this is a 2-week tournament. This is a WTA 1000. If the big thing you need to know immediately is that Victoria Mboko beat the first seed Coco Gauff 6-1, 6-4. And it's kind of like watching Coco. And it's not a race thing. That's a little bit. But what I mean is very athletic, hits the forehand slice on the run. I would say Victoria's forehand is probably better. She's a hometown girl, although where is she from exactly? Let's see where Victoria Mboko's from. Hi, my name is Victoria Mboko. 18 years old, Canadian. Her stats this year are 46-9. She's 85 in the world. Born in North Carolina in the United States, but moved to Toronto as a small child. They don't even have anything on her. Right-handed, we know that. They don't really have a bio. Career? Yeah, she's a very high record. Very impressed with her composure. I like her forehand. You know, the days of the closed stance forehand finishing across the shoulder are over. Coco's forehand does look better. It does. I do agree. I disagreed with the statement on Saturday when someone told me that her forehand looks better, and then I rewatched some of this match, and I go, her forehand does look better. But to me, it's not like it looks better technically. It just looks like she has more confidence in it, and that always makes me think it can go away. Coco double faulted 22 times in another match. Can I see the stats for this match? Why do we always do this, you guys? Why do I never have the fucking stats? I can't get them. That's a lot of times to double fault. Let's see how she did. Let's see how Coco played. She beat Kudermetova in 3 in the round of 32. In the round of 16, she beat Danielle Collins in 3. So I wouldn't say Coco's playing her best tennis. She lost to Victoria Mboko, who beat her 1-4. But it was fun to watch, and it's fun to watch a Canadian play well in Montreal. She's got a long way to go. Think about it from her perspective. She's beating a woman who, how old is Coco? Let me guess. 20? 21. My God. Crazy. She's just beat a U.S. Open and a French Open champion. That's tremendous skill, tremendous accomplishment for her. Let's look at the quarterfinals here. Mboko versus Buzas Manero. Okay. Kostyuk, Rybakina. I've always liked Kostyuk. Marta Kostyuk, Ukrainian, versus Rybakina from Kazakhstan. Svitolina versus Osaka. Keys versus Towson. Clara Towson. So kind of a weird quarterfinals here. I love these warm-up tournaments. They're fun I've been to all of them. It's a great environment. I think the players come ready to play. They're not at their highest level, but if you can have a great run at one of these, it really helps your summer. You don't know what's going to happen in a Grand Slam. Obviously, you have a great run at one of these. It helps you with your confidence at the U.S. Open, but for the average player who isn't, deep in the second week of the U.S. Open, these tournaments are enormous. And if you have 2 great warm-up tournaments and then you draw the first seed of the U.S. Open and you lose, it's still a good summer. It's still a productive summer. So everyone is fighting very, very hard. And yeah, I've always had great memories watching Cincinnati. Some of these I played in. I played the last round qualifying of Cincinnati, last round qualifying Washington D.C. Those are my probably 2 best results at a tour level, and did not make it in. Lost. Thank you for reminding me. Men, we are in Toronto right now. Round of 16. Let's go through it. Zverev beat Cerundolo 6-4. Cerundolo retired. Popyrin beat Rune in 3. Popyrin's fun to watch. Didn't he win this last year? Maybe. Mickelson beat Teen. Okay, 2 Americans. Hatchinoff, the Karen, beat Casper Ruud 4-5. You know, I'm reading Jiri Nathan's new book about Sinner and Alcaraz, and I should have it right here, and I should show it to the camera, and I don't have it, but it's very well written. It's very wonderful book. I highly recommend it. Try to get him on. We can talk about it. Also, I'm getting Connor Nyland on, talking about his book, The Racket. It's easy to forget that Casper Ruud made the finals of the French Open and the U.S. Open one year. Remember that? And he had chances in that U.S. Open final. I mean, I think it was split. Each set, first two sets were split, and I think he had set points in the third. And now he's 8. It's not like he sucks, but it is, you know, it's, man, how tough is it to stay up at that level consistently? Why did I put my water back up there? Tiafoe lost to the Demon, Alex de Minaur. I said yesterday last show that I forgot what we call Alex de Minaur. I said, do we call him the devil? And then my friend texted me and he's like, you fucking idiot. It's in his name. It's Demon. They call him the Demon. He's right. De Minaur. You know what I say to people all the time? I say, well, you know what? You can do it right on your podcast. Whenever people come visit me, whenever we host friends and they complain about something, oh, the water's too cold. Oh, the restaurant wait is too long. Well, you know what? You can fix that when you host. Huh? Oh, you don't like how much you have to drive around here? Well, guess what? When you have us to your house, you can make it better. Oh, you don't like how much noise is in the city? Well, when you actually invite us to your home, you can turn down the noise in your city. Oh, you don't like the way how I forgot that Alex de Minaur's nickname was the Demon? Well, I look forward to listening to your podcast where you get everything right all the fucking time. Thanks for listening. Kaboli lost to Ben Shelton. Rublev beat David Fokina in a retirement in the third. And Taylor Fritz beat Lehechka 7-6, 6-7, 7-6. I woke up to a text from my brother, a long text. And this is the brother that doesn't text me that much. And it was, I should just read it. I'm not gonna. But it was like, why does no one come to the net? And he was watching. Actually, it makes sense that he was watching Toronto because he's in Canada. And, of course, they're showcasing it. It is true, man. I watch Taylor Fritz, and he's just banging these cross-court ground strokes. Bang it. 5, 6, 7. And I'm like, if you would have snuck in 6 ground strokes ago, it's 15-love. And I text him back. I go, the only player that really knows how to volley these days is Carlos Alcaraz. And he's 1 in the world or 2 in the world. And the only reason Yannick Sinner is 1 in the world is because he comes to the net now to finish points. He still should come more. It is easy sitting on your couch, eating ice cream, yelling at Taylor Fritz to move forward. All of these kids grew up where you just banged with the new strings. You just bang from the back, bang from the back, bang from the back. But look at Alcaraz. He moves forward so well. Finish the point. Get in there. Bang 3 times and get in. And all the players do this as they get older. Djokovic started to serve and volley occasionally. Federer would do the saber and come in. One of Nadal's most underrated parts of his game was his ability to close at net. Move forward. Also, Mboko multiple times didn't hit an overhead. She hit that swinging forehand. If you're a young woman learning this game, if you're a coach coaching young women, get them on the overhead. And I'm saying this as someone who did not have a great overhead. I felt like no one in my juniors really just like took a summer or even a long-term approach with the overhead. Overhead is about confidence and athletic ability. And you're telling me that Mboko isn't hitting a jump overhead? She's hitting a swinging forehand instead? Work with the athlete. Hit 100 overheads every day. That just finish the lesson with that. Just like you should finish the lesson with returns or start the lesson with returns. Holy shit. Can you imagine if a junior coach started every lesson with 20 minutes of returns? Greatest returner ever. It's like if I would have learned golf from the green, if I ever have kids that care about sports and they want to play golf, we're starting on the green. And maybe you'll hit a drive 10 years from now. We got it all whack. We're all whack-a-do-it all. All right, so if we're looking at Toronto, quarterfinals is Zverev versus Poprin. That'll be poppin'. Bing. Mickelson versus Hachinov. What a Karen. The Demon versus Ben Shelton, who's kind of a dick also. The Demon's not a dick, but a demon is. Off the rails right now. I just lost subscribers. Rublev versus Fritz. That'll be fun because neither of those guys come to net and they will just bang. So that's fun. That's fun. All right. So the thing that I thought was interesting, by the way, thank you for all you watching on YouTube. We are also starting to add timestamps. I think that's good for this pod because sometimes I dig in hard on tennis. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's something else. And I get it. Sometimes you don't want to hear about Trump. Sometimes that's all you want to hear about. So that'll be timestamped and you can listen to what you want. But really, for those of you listening on audio, you're the real winners because you are just listening and you are devoted and you're my lovely wife. You don't have anywhere else to be except supporting your husband. And that's why I appreciate you audio listeners so much, unlike the YouTubers that are like, why is he talking about that? Well, you can do that your way on your podcast. So this past Friday, the first Friday of every month, and if I really had a big plan with this pod, I would probably teach us a little bit, all of us, about our government every podcast, because I think the more we know about our government, the more we learn about our government, the more we understand our government, the less we would be willing to accept an authoritarian ruler who's trying to dismantle the government to make it seem inefficient and then appoint only loyalists and then lie to us about the government. I feel like the government doesn't have a good messenger. Joe Biden couldn't have been worse at messaging what he was doing. And then Trump is very good at messaging, controlling the narrative of his lies. So, too bad. The guy who I thought was pretty decent at his job is a bad messenger, and the guy who's a liar is a great messenger. I think I said that wrong. The guy who I thought was decent at his job was a terrible messenger, and the guy who deals with lying is a good messenger. So Trump didn't like the jobs report that came out on Friday, so he fired a high-level... Trump fires U.S. labor official over data and gets earlier than expected chance to reshape Fed. This is from Reuters. Summary. Trump claims in social media posts that jobs numbers were rigged. No evidence to back Trump's claims. Fed Governor Kugler resigns, giving Trump an early chance for an appointment. Economists already have growing concerns about U.S. data quality. So that's why I wanted to quickly talk to us about the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because this is important that we get statistics. This is all about facts. Facts. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, BLS, is a unit of the United States Department of Labor. It is the principal fact-finding agency for the U.S. government in a broad field of labor economics and statistics, and serves as a principal agency for the federal statistical system. You guys, we need stats. You guys, we need facts. We need stats. If the jobs report shows that the people have only hired 75,000 new people this month, then that's what it is. This is not up for interpretation. This is how we can use those numbers with a bunch of other data to make our interpretation, but those numbers are facts. And Trump didn't like the fact, and he fired somebody. President Trump on Friday fired a top Labor Department official on the heels of a market-shocking weak scorecard of the U.S. job market, accusing her, it's always a her, without evidence of manipulating the figures and adding to already growing concerns about the quality of economic data published by the federal government. This was a Biden-appointed woman, and I don't know why she got it. Is it just because she's a she and DEI and that all bullshit? Or is it because she was Biden appointed? At first I thought he fired the whole, like, the top person. Maybe this is who she is. I don't know. My point with all this is, like, it's going to be really scary when the facts are manipulated, and we do need to know these things. And I hate to break this to everybody, but if his economic plan isn't working, if you just make the numbers look like it is working, it still isn't working. It has to be founded on real stuff. Trump accused Erica McCantarfer, appointed by former President Joe Biden, of faking the jobs numbers. There's no evidence to back Trump's claims of data manipulation by the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the statistical agency that compiles the closely watched employment report as well as consumer and producer price data. It's easier for him to manipulate the facts than it is to actually just lower the cost of groceries or eggs like he campaigned on. Friday began with the BLS reporting that the U.S. economy created only 73,000 jobs in July, but more stunning were net downward revisions showing 258,000 fewer jobs had been created in May and June than previously reported. Whoa! I didn't know this part. But more stunning were net downward revisions. So they went back and told you, our shit was wrong. Showing 258,000 fewer jobs had been created in May and June than previously reported. Yeah, that's bad. We need accurate jobs numbers. I have directed my team to hire. Oh, this is Trump. This is a Trump quote. We need accurate jobs numbers. I have directed my team to fire this Biden political appointee immediately. She will be replaced with someone much more competent and qualified. Bro, that sucks. Because you're just, you're questioning the thing that is true. And so now what? Now when the jobs numbers come out, they're going to be amazing and it's going to be lies? Who the fuck's going to do that? Don't do that. Hey, whoever you are, don't put out fake numbers because of Donald Trump. That's bad. A Trump administration official who requested anonymity said that while all academic data is noisy, the White House has been dissatisfied with how large the revisions have been in recent data and issues with lower survey responses. Oh, gosh. The BLS has already reduced the sample collection for consumer price data as well as consumer price citing resource constraints. I complain a lot that every time I go to a park, the bathrooms are closed or one of the playgrounds is broken, it hasn't been fixed. And it's very easy to say, like, God, the federal government or the state government is incompetent. But then you look into it and it's like, no, their funding was cut, or there's not enough park rangers because Doge slashed them all. And we were already underfunding that part of our government anyways. It just remembered the trap is to say, oh, the post office sucks, we should privatize it. No, the post office sucks because it's not funded. It's like it would be better if it was backed more. A Reuters poll last month, in addition to conservative jobs, resulted in scaling back the scope. Trump's move fed in concerns that politics may influence data collection and publication. I mean, that's the problem. Trump's move fed into concerns that politics may influence data collection and publication. And who said it? Neil deGrasse Tyson. The thing about a fact is that it's a fact whether you like it or agree with it or not. It's just a fact. Anyways, this is kind of boring shit, but if we all know what the Bureau of Labor Statistics does, it might be of service to us a little bit. BLS data must satisfy a number of criteria, including relevance to current social and economic issues, timeliness, and reflecting today's rapidly changing economic conditions. It was established within the Department of the Interior in 1884 to collect information about employment and labor. It's important. It's important. It's important. That's how you know the health of an economy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Tennis Anyone podcast. I'm Michael Kosta. I'll be in Milwaukee I will be in Grand Rapids in September. I'll be at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle in October. I thank you for listening. Please share. Please leave a rating and a review. Please subscribe on YouTube. The Daily Show is off for the month of August, as we all joked. Right after the canceling of Stephen Colbert, it doesn't look great that we're just off for a month, but you should know that we knew we were off for a month. It was on the production calendar. And hey, if it saves money, taking the month of August off, and we've had the highest ratings in 10 years, those are good things, right? Less money, higher ratings, those are good. Keep watching, keep sharing. Thank you so much to everybody who came to my shows this weekend. Game, Set, Match, Kosta. Check out Lucky Loser. I read the audiobook as well. Appreciate you all. Game, Set, Match, Kosta.